Hi, Nisha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. For my viewers, Nisha is joining us from USA, and Nisha has this amazing charity called Pretty Ponytails. So, Nisha, welcome to my YouTube channel. And would you like to tell my viewers about what is Pretty Ponytails?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie, for having me on your amazing show. It is such a privilege and honor to be here. And I'm honored to be here that you chose me to just share my story and what my business is all about. So Pretty Ponytails is a nonprofit 501c3 community organization. We offer hair care kits to at-risk and underserved girls to help boost up their self-esteem and confidence. So that's a little bit about what Pretty Ponytails is about.
So, why did you come up with the idea of creating something like this?
Awesome. I'm glad you asked. So the reason why I honestly started this, it's going on 2 years since we actually been in business. So when I first started Pretty Ponytails, I was going through one of my darkest seasons of my life. We were going through a difficult time in our life. We were actually homeless at the time. And I was driving, just a quick story. We were driving and I was in my car, and honestly, to be honest, God really gave me this business. I had never in a million years thought about even starting this business. I have always had a passion to work with young girls and empower them, but not on this level. So really, I was driving, like I said, back to the story, driving, and I was dropping my daughter off, and God gave me this concept to gather hair products to give back to girls that are in orphanage. And so I was like, okay. So I took that idea and I went home back where we were staying at the time. We were staying in a hotel, and I went home and shared it with my husband and told him the idea that God gave me. And he was super excited. I was excited. I was like, okay, now what? Now that this idea is here, what do I do with this idea? So day by day, it began to unfold with the name, how to, partner with people in the community. And so that's pretty much, honestly, to say the least. I would say, I'm a woman of faith, and my relationship with God is very important. So God really revealed. I give all glory to God for this business, and He revealed the business to me, and that's pretty much how it started. So when I was going through one of my darkest hours, God birthed in Pretty Ponytails in order for me to just give back to young girls that are less fortunate, to help build up their self-esteem and confidence. And so that's pretty much where it started, honestly.
That's fantastic. So, Nisha, do you want to tell our viewers how did you come up with the name?
So the name, honestly, the name took a little while. I was struggling with the name. There was different names I was tossing back and forth, and then the name Pretty Ponytails just came. Like I said, I want to be able to help girls feel pretty, and by doing that, building up their self-esteem with their hair. And so the idea just came, Pretty Ponytails. I was like, babe, what do you think about Pretty Ponytails? She's like, I love that name. That's a great name. And so I have a teenage daughter, and she's like, Mom, I like that name too. And so he's like, okay, Pretty Ponytails it is, So really, it's not no major story behind the name. It was just the name just came, and we all liked the name, and we just kind of went with the name. Like I said, Pretty Ponytails is just building up their pretty with, building up their self-esteem with their hair, so yeah.
So that is fantastic. So, Nisha, what are the challenges you faced post COVID with Pretty Ponytails?
Um, I would say, honestly, throughout the pandemic, believe it or not, I know some people had some rough times through the pandemic, but that wasn't my story. During the pandemic, or even we're still in a pandemic, my business has still been blessed. I'm just still able to make connections with people, communities, So it haven't really been a challenge. I can say my challenge right now that I'm really working on is just funding, finding grants, and finding those different sponsors, people out there to really just catch the vision and just come along and help us be able to empower girls worldwide, globally. That's my vision. I really want to be able to impact girls globally, not just locally where I live, but I want to be able to impact girls globally. So I would say that's a huge thing right now, is just getting the funding and grants. Is something that I struggle that I'm working on. So
actually, that was going to be my next question. That where do you see yourself in another 5 years?
Wow, I would say right now, in the next 5 years, I would love to have my own distribution center where Pretty Ponytails has its own store, where it'd just be an empowerment store where girls can come and be empowered, just a station where I can have like all my hair care kits where people can come and drop off and donate. I just want to have an empowerment center for girls. They have a place where foster care agencies can come and bring their children and get their hair done. So I just want to have a big distribution center and like a store for just empowerment for girls. So that's where I would see myself, and that's something I would love to have, and then sooner than later, because I would say I'm really growing out of my space here at my house. Everything is here at my house, but I want my own Pretty Ponytails empowerment center for girls. So I would say that's where I'll see myself in the next 5 years, and as well as being able to impact girls worldwide, like even maybe impacting girls in India where you live, or Africa, or Asia and Mexico. I want to go into those underprivileged countries and just being able to impact those girls and just make a difference, as well as here locally where I live in North Carolina. But I just want to be able to just impact the girls globally. So that's where I say see myself, and just being able to just make a difference in this community, in the world. So
fantastic. So Nisha, tell us, there are charities, different kind of charities around the world. Why with the hair, especially with the girl child?
That is so funny as it relates to the hair. To be quite honest, this sounds really weird. I am really not, just to put a disclaimer out there, I am really not a hair person. I can do hair. I have 2 daughters of my own, so quite naturally I have to, keep up with their hair. But hair is not one of my strengths or one of my passions and my go-to. So it's really funny that I'm in this business that building self-esteem and confidence centered around girls' hair. And it's funny how God will take that one thing that you really don't like to do, but become a business where you actually empowering someone through something that you really don't like to do, because I'm not really, I keep up my hair because I have to, but I'm not, you can ask even family and friends, I'm not really a hair person. But honestly, with the Pretty Ponytails, it's not so much hair, it's really taking that hair piece to build up their self-esteem and confidence. So our main focal point is to build up self-esteem and confidence, but taking hair and beauty, because a lot of girls look to the hair and beauty because that's important to them, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, the idea, like even going back to the story, you asked me how did Pretty Ponytails started. It was an idea, and I took the idea and I'm like, God, I'm not even a hair person. So I was like, this is funny how am I into this business and I'm not even a hair person, because some people even ask, are you into cosmetology? Do you have your own beauty license? I'm like, absolutely not. I do not. It's just creating an avenue where I'm able to build self-esteem and confidence through hair care for girls. So
there's another question which would be very interesting for my viewers to listen to is, Nisha, you interacted with the girls from foster care and orphanages and all, and how do they respond to you when you talk about empowering them through the hair care kits?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as it relates to foster care and stuff like that, I haven't actually been able to, I've talked to like the organization leaders, but as far as actually talking to some of the girls, I haven't been able to get on that, actually have a one-on-one communication with any of the the foster care system is, it can be really tricky, a lot of confidentiality and stuff like that. So, but I have got a lot of feedback from the interaction I have worked with some of the agencies here, and they said that the girls are, they really look for that, and they really appreciate the services that Pretty Ponytails offers. So that's always nice to hear. Yeah. So hopefully eventually one day, I'll be able to have some more interaction with the foster care agencies, with the children's homes that I'm, connected here with. So yeah.
So that is fantastic, Nisha. Thank you so much for taking our time to giving this interview. And I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a privilege and honor for being on here today.
So if you're viewing this channel for the first time, we have amazing women like Nisha on this platform on a regular basis. To do subscribe to my channel. Nisha, thank you so much.